Hi guys, I'm Gary, and I just got here. Today we're going to play with Realflight, and I've had a few questions and some things that people want to learn how to do with Realflight. So I see we got Alan, Kevin, Jermaine, Dastardly Dave, Tony Burt. Thanks for hopping on, guys. I appreciate it. Um, we just need to hop right into this. If you guys like my videos, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up. That means you like the video. And if you're watching the playback, go ahead and leave some comments. I appreciate it. So we're going to hop into, I'll jump right to the screen. We're going to start up Realflight. And it does take just a little bit to get it loaded up. I do have a pretty good computer, and so it loads up pretty fast on my system. So if you have a little bit older computer, it might take just a little bit longer. But here we go. Your beginning screen, you're going to hit the fly button or the X to get out of this screen. And this airplane right here, you won't get this with Realflight 9. This is a download. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that here in a second. So to get downloads on your computer, we want to go to a website called knifeedge.com. And on this screen, we're going to go to, or we can scroll down. You want to create an account first and be signed in. But then you're going to go down here where it says swap pages. And you go into the swap pages. And if there's like a specific airplane that you want to see, you're going to go to the search up here. But you've got all these categories over here, and people have been designing them. You can see right here it says aircraft, and then airplanes or drones or helicopters, airports. So you can even do airports. But right here is the models. And so um, you can go with color schemes or variants or whatever. But so here's all the airplanes that you need to download. Now, so what I want to do, so after you've got your account set up, you find one of these you want, you would go here, and then there's this download button. You download it. But I want to download I want to download a Big Mamba by Flex Innovation. So let's start over and do a search. And I only want to swap page search, and I'm going to look for Mamba and click search. And right here I got the blue color scheme, which is the CS is color scheme, and it tells you down here it's a color scheme. And then here's variants, and I don't see any that say it's like the airplane. So I'm gonna start up here with right here, the Mamba AV. It's a 70cc Mamba. So I'm gonna click on this, and then it tells you right here, this is a variant for the QQ Python. So I need to get the Python. So we'll go Python, and then I'm gonna download it. And then if you use Google Chrome, the downloads are down here in the corner. And if you do this, it shows you where it's going in the folder. So like here, this is my download folder. You need to know that later on when you go to import it into the game. But I've downloaded this. Now I want to back up to the Mamba. I'm going to download that too, because I want it to look like this. All right. So now I've downloaded both the Python and the Mamba. So I'm going to go back to the game. And then up here under simulation, I want to go down to import, Realflight archive. And then you gotta go to the folder that you downloaded to. And because I've been doing this, I have several already here. Hey Dave Merck's on. Thanks, man. And we're gonna scroll down to the QQ Python, and I think these are in alphabetical order. So here's the Python. It's telling me I already have this engine, do not import it, but it's going to download the airplane, and then it tells you down here, QQ Python has successfully imported. Now I got to import the color scheme for the Mamba. So Mamba, uh, so there's the variant for the Mamba, and now if you go to aircraft, select aircraft, uh, you got folders here, and depending on how many versions you've had on your computer, I think you'll get all of them. But here, the Realflight 9 aircraft and this legacy aircraft's what comes with your disk, and then this custom one is where all the airplanes I've downloaded they've been dumped into here. And so here is the one that I just did. That's the one I just downloaded. And I don't know if you guys have at this spot right here in when you're doing the 360 view, right here you can mess with your switches to see what they all do, and move all your controls to see how much they move around, like, and then see the rates. There's dual rates. You can see it doesn't move as far. But also right here is where you do the color, and it is not there. Mamba showed up separate. So here's, it's not there either. So did I not import the right uh, Mamba AV? I did. I did. It should be yellow. So Mamba QQ Python was it, and it's not showing the alternate color. Should be right here. So I just did this with the RV8. This is the Flex Innovations uh, RV8, and for this one you got to download the slipstream first. This is the airplane, but then it adds a different color when I do the color scheme. But I guess I didn't do a color scheme. I did a variant. So not sure why it shows up in all these weird colors, but anyways, that's how you add airplanes. Let's do one more just so you guys can see it. Um, Anybody already type an airplane in they would like to see me download? I don't see it. Jeff and Lower Albuemo. One thing to remember though, guys, about downloading these airplanes um, from here is that unless the other so when we're getting ready to show you how to do online, if you if you're flying with somebody online, your airplane's going to look like this little blue airplane because they don't have the same airplanes you've downloaded. They might, but if they haven't, then then they can't really see what you're flying. So here's the, so I had the green. So let's do the orange. Here's the orange. We're going to download this. You see it's now it's done. So minimize this, back in the game, import, and the color scheme, uh, RV8, this one is the orange. And now it says it's successfully imported. Now I go to aircraft, select aircraft. Now it should be the orange one. And it's got it doesn't do this every time, but when it does every time you add a new, uh, you add a new color scheme or aircraft or whatever. It does take a minute. Nice. We're gonna wait. I think it'll be okay. I just adjust my volume on the microphone and come back and this happened. Give it a second. There it is. There's the orange one. and then you just click OK, and then it's set up, ready to go. So pretty cool. Alright guys, so I'm gonna go online, show you guys that. This airplane floaty, so you need it to kind of stall out the land without bouncing. Now this airplane, like I said, this airplane will not show up to anybody else when so you can do, so to go to another online, you're gonna have to set up a pilot profile, and I have mine set up right here. Let me see if I can zoom in on that a little bit. Oops, here we go. So I just got here, Marysville, Ohio, and it tells you that I got 17 hours on this thing already, and I just got this. And then I put this in here. Okay? So up here it says multiplayer. I guess I could have done this when I was showing you this here. There's the import, and it says raw real flight archive. But to do multiplayer, you got to set up your pilot profile, and then you come down here to join or to host. Now, you can hit join, and I'll do this just so that you guys can see this. Let me go back to the screen here. And here's a list of people already hosting. And it's important to see this column right here. You can see that this person here has set up a password so that only him and his buddies can fly here. And then same with this one, and this one here, and this one. So I haven't done that yet, but that's what I plan on doing. And then the other day we were on here flying with it was Wes from Mary Boozer, and he put his name in here, and that's what I'm gonna do. So let's go ahead and cancel this, and then I'm gonna set up a host, and advanced hosting options. Let's see here we go, password, and I'm gonna make it simple. It's just gonna be I just got here. So if you guys want to hop in, how many people watching live right now? So that's 7, so 8 should be fine. And I'll click host. Session name is going to be my name. Password is going to be the exact same. It's going to come up with this screen right here saying it's just the default stuff, and we're at Eli Field. There's no game. Okay. So now I'm here, and you can see my airplane's a little bit grayed out. That's way because the airplanes can actually hit each other, and you don't want them when you're first taking off. If there's a bunch of people, they all start in that exact same spot. You don't want them to hit each other. And so after you get taken off, then it'll brighten up. You can see it turn normal there. That's how you join, or that's how you host. And then join, you just click join and then pick the one you want. And you should get that same little screen telling you about what you're joining. And then you just click OK to get in. There we go, there's a decent landing. But if any of you guys join and you don't have this specific airplane, it's not going to look like an orange Flex. It's going to look like this little blue airplane. You see Dave's on here flying. Now, one thing about that, let me let me show you. So, since I got 2 people in here flying, Dave's flying, I can go to multiplayer and then drop down here to scorecard, and I can see Dave's name here. and I can click this little eyeball, and now we're following Dave. So I'm watching Dave fly. Let me go back to the so you guys can see it. There's Dave flying, not me flying. And so if you want to see somebody else flying, you join, but then you go to the scorecard and pick who you want to watch. And so this is actually something that I want to do when I start hosting live fly-in type stuff. What I'll do is I'll fly, and then I will switch it to somebody else. And if you got Dave, you got headphones on? Well, let me click over here. I can't hear nothing.
Yeah, I got headphones on.
All right, can you guys hear Dave? I don't know. I haven't seen anybody's chat lately. But if you guys can hear Dave, please put it in the chat so I know that that's working on the audio. Should be able to hear Dave.
Yeah, I got it going.
Nice. I can hear you good and clear, and it looked like the audio
Okay, cool.
is jumping on my thing. So, um, what I would do is like,
There's
I'm going to invite Nate and some other people to fly with me on here. What I'll do is I'll create profiles on the software that I use to share the video. And instead of seeing me talking in the bottom corner, you'll see a picture of Dave or whatever his profile picture might be or something like that. And you pick something so big it takes up the whole screen. But so this is a modified. Cool, thanks, Kevin. So this airplane is actually one of the original airplanes from Realflight, but there's a way to modify it and make it really big. And I was going to share that too. And so you're going to go up here. Let me switch to this top right corner. You're going to go up here to aircraft, and you're going to do edit. I don't. So you click on edit, and this is going to be the one that I'm flying. And then down here at the bottom, which you got to scroll down to where it says vehicle graphical scale. So you click on that number. Right now it says 100, and you would change it to let's double the size and make it 200%. Hit enter like that, and then we're going to close this window, and it should ask me if I want to save, and I am going to say yes. And so now the airplane should be, it's taken up a lot more of the screen now, and it's 200%. Now, if you do that with one of the airplanes that comes in the game, you can't change that default aircraft. You'll have to rename it. It'll come up with a window like you're creating a new file. So that's interesting you say that, Dave, because I've been told that if you've done all the updates, that 7, 8, and 9 all play together. So I don't know how old of a Realflight that you have, but I think if you have 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5, 9, anything other than, or anything above 7 and not RFX. So Realflight X, it doesn't have a multiplayer section in it. Is it not the password I just got here? It worked for Dave. Dave, can you hear me? Got your
Yeah, I
headphones
got
still
you.
on? So did you have to do
Yeah,
anything special for the password?
caps and smalls and spaces.
That's what he's got typed
It's
here.
it's upper and lowercase
Yeah,
sensitive.
the password is exactly the way you got it typed there, Jeff. I think if you type in, so typically we wouldn't do a password, but I think it is, I just got here, and the first letter of each word capital. No punctuation. Should be able to get in. And if you can't get in, Jeff, just let me know, and we'll make it a public. I will close it out and host a public one. But anyways, so for this airplane, well, let me fly it, and I'll show you. You can see it's quite a bit bigger. It's not quite as big as the plane that Dave's flying there, and it's actually pretty zippy. But sometimes when you're makes your airplane twice as big like this, it feels really slow. And so what you want to do is adjust the engine speed. So let me show you. And I just learned all this, by the way, from flying with some other guys. But you go into aircraft, quick edit. Instead of edit the airplane, you're going to do quick edit. Let me zoom back in there real quick. Just make sure you guys can see it. So up here, aircraft, quick edit, and then I have to zoom back out because I can pull the box up there. So here's the box that comes up in the middle of the screen, and we're gonna adjust the engine power right here. So you want to double this up to 200%. Like that. Hit save. Now I'm gonna go back to the plane. Let me reset it back to the center of the screen. Now it's got a whole lot more power. It's gonna be a lot faster. Is it still just me and Dave in here? Let me hit up the multiplayer scoreboard. It's still just me and Dave. Dave, I'm gonna start over and make it public, okay?
That's fine.
Alright. Let's hop out. Disconnect. I'm gonna host. Turn off the password. Then hit host again. The only problem with this is that now it's open to people that's not in my live stream, and that's why I kind of wanted to hold it back to just individuals that are in my chat window, but we can do it this way. So here's the airplane. Whenever I click into my OBS, it turns off the sound that I was doing for the game. This Flex Innovations RV8. This is an airplane that I've been wanting for a while. I wouldn't mind having the bigger Mamba too, but this airplane is so cool, and you can get it with files for this field. Okay, so yeah, that's true. This is a newer field, so I think, let's see, I can change the field environment, right? Select airport, and let's do this one. I think this is one that everybody was using. That doesn't look like what we were using. Is this a field that you got, Jeff? Unfortunately, I don't know which fields are available in Realflight 8. One thing is that the Eli field may be available on Knife Edge. So let's do a search for that real quick. I'll just type in Eli. Nope, that did not come up. Oh, yep, that's a little bit behind. So if you're interested in buying this, I do have it linked uh, through my Amazon. Jeff is in. Howdy, Jeff. Can you hear me, or do you got a headset on? You might not have a headset on. I'm gonna change aircraft to. I like this pit python. Oh, yeah, just back to what I said already. You guys can't see the airplane other than what I'm sharing on here. Oh, and that reminds me, I wanted to fly this um, this one. So this one here, I download and it has green smoke. Now I don't think Dave's can see this, but I thought it was really cool looking. And if you download it, then you got green smoke too. But oh, those weeds right there are tall. One thing that you can really make a bunch of people angry on this game if you're online, if you run a bunch of smoke right in front of the station where everybody flies, or where everybody's positioned for flying. Now, if you do host the photo fields, like what I got here. No, Jeff says he doesn't have a headset. You can see the smoke because I'm sharing what I see. But if you were in the game with me, you wouldn't see it. Like what Dave sees is a little blue airplane with no smoke. Alright, so I'm going to pick an airplane that they can see, and that's going to be listed under the real flight aircraft. So most of these they're going to be able to see with no problem. So we'll say like I'm going to pick this extra 300. This is the little E-Flight airplane. And they should be able to see my airplane just like I see theirs. No problem. In fact, if you modify this particular one to 200 times the size, like we were seeing Dave's earlier, that's no problem either because they just have to have the base model on their computer to be able to see it. So even those modified planes, I think if Dave had them download too, he would be able to see them while he's in here. But as long as he doesn't have that file downloaded on and imported into his game, he's not going to see them. Just a little blue airplane. It's a weird looking little blue airplane too. Oh, last landed in the grass. So, guys, drop something in the chat if you want anything else explained on here. If not, we're just going to do some flying now. And in fact, let's put a lot of people like the Zero. I hear somebody's running. Sounds like a jet or something. The Zero right here, I think it was. Maybe a different one, but everybody was flying the Zero because it was pretty quick. Put the landing gear up. I got it zoomed in just a little bit on the screen so you guys can see it a little better. There's a windsock. I don't have any wind turned on. so that you can see our planes with no problem. And this isn't, like I said, this is one of the original airplanes that comes with the game, so it shouldn't be an issue. But if you do one of the downloads from the Knife Edge uh, page, and there's one that I really like on there, and I'm gonna fly it anyways, even though these guys won't be able to see it. Oh, that's what happens when you crash, by the way. But there's this one airplane that I really like that I download, and I wanted to share it with you because it does something really cool. But it's this Edge 540 right here. It's a pretty good sized plane, but you can see. Let me go ahead and fly it around real quick so it gets solid, so you guys can see it real well when I put it back on the ground. Now I think, Jeff, if you look at my airplane now, I think it's just going to look like a little blue airplane. But see what he's doing? The pilot, the little head in there is turning with the rudder. I think that's so cool that the pilot's head moves. This airplane is a great airplane. If Jeff has it downloaded, then he should be able to see it though, so I think. It's a really cool plane. I've been working on, you take it straight up, and then nose it over, hit the ailerons and the rudder, and then bunch it down, getting it into that flat spin. I've been working on that, trying to get it better. I'm not real good at it yet. As you can see, I got real close to the ground before I got it into the flat spin, and I got it completely flat where it didn't descend anymore, but I needed it to, or I would have hit the ground. The idea is to get it spinning around like that, but still coming down real slow. Edge 540 is one of my favorite airplanes. Let's take a look at whatever Jeff's flying right now. And I'll pick Jeff. We can move this down here behind me a little bit. Like that. You guys won't even see it. You can see Jeff up there flying around. He's actually, this is that little blue airplane. He's flying an airplane I don't have downloaded. And so it's got kind of a white border around it, and it's a blue airplane. And then I can switch it to Dave. We'll see what Dave's flying. He's got one of the airplanes that comes with the game. So like I said, when I get this a little bit better, what I'll do is I'll have profiles set up in my scene so that I can drop your guys' picture in the bottom corner instead of seeing me talk. But that's what Jeff's airplane looks like right there. Just blue with a white border around it, because I don't have the airplane design built into my system right now. Now we picked one that's in the game. Cap 232 is a great airplane. It's got something called a snap roll that it does really well. It's because the elevator is ahead of the rudder, and so it's kind of like a Jeep. It's got a short wheelbase, only it's a wing base, right? Horizontal to the wing is a short distance compared to the rudder, so you get a lot of control out of that rudder. And so you throw it into a stall, and you get it tumbling around really fast. I think it's if you do the rudders and you do all elevator and then you do the ailerons and the rudder in the same direction, it should start snapping around. You want to get some speed to it though. See if you can do it. It's got him doing a nice flat. One thing that we noticed with with this game is if somebody changes the airplane model, it'll pause just a little bit. So Adam's hopped on. Mr. Whip Pilot, how are you doing? Today we're just doing a little bit of real flight stuff here, and if you want to learn any more about real flight, you'll have to go back and rewatch the broadcast so that you can see some of the tips and tricks. I'm actually done. Let's see what Dave's doing. He's got a profile plane out. It moves really slow, and he's got it blown up real big. See if I can get this thing going in a hover. Can't remember if I got it on full rate. Let's get this cannon up here. It's a little, you can have a little more confidence when you're doing it in a game, but if you do this in real life, it's a lot more stressful. I can do it pretty decent on here, but I can't really do it in real life too much. Oh, shoot. Just because of something like that. So Real Flight 9, I've had it about a week now, right? I got it like a day before the last time I did this. So maybe 2 weeks. I can't remember exactly when I did this. But I did have 7.5 and I do have RFX. I don't suggest anybody to go out and get RFX, Real Flight X, because it has a bunch of issues with the graphics. They're too demanding for most computers. And so I can play it on here, but it's kind of boring because I started with 7.5 or 7 and upgraded to 7.5. And it was kind of, I had multiplayer then, and that I really loved the multiplayer. And then to switch over to RFX and it didn't have it, I was really disappointed because I thought I was upgrading because it was bragging about how good the graphics were and how much more realistic it was going to be. I really didn't see an upgrade. Now, the other day we were playing this online, and so there's a couple there's a few, I don't even know how many, but there's some hidden aircraft, we'll say with quotes, air quotes. There's some aircraft that you get through running the challenges. And we had a guy on here, he was flying a riding lawnmower, and I think it's golden. And then there was another one where it's an alligator and a hot air, or not even hot air, it's like a basket being lifted up by a bunch of little balloons.
Yeah, just balloons, yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Looks like we got Buzzard Bait hopped in. Buzzard Bait, you got headphones on? No response. Let's see what he's flying. There's just a little dot out there too. Way out there. Oh, he's flying a custom plane, so it just looks like a little blue plane. That's another thing is If you guys tell me what you're flying, what you've downloaded off of Knife Edge, I can download it onto my computer, and then we can see it in my videos that I'm doing live. So, unfortunately, buzzarbait might not be somebody actually in my chat. If he had headphones on, he could possibly tell me. I just hit the rudder the wrong way. I'm a little bit challenged on sometimes on the roll there. I get it backwards to me. I've said that live on my videos before when I'm flying. Nice. So yeah, I've picked what they call a photo field. So these photo fields. Did I stop you, Dave, from flying?
No, it's my
Okay, good.
fault.
Oh, I just wanted to make sure I didn't stop anybody. Um, anyways, if I select one of these photo fields, you can't do chase or cockpit views. So I think um, not that one. Let's see. And I've heard you don't want to do water for the online. Let's do this air race stadium and see what it looks like. So that should have stopped everybody from being able to fly while we load up the new field, and now everybody should be able to take off again. So now up here at the top, let me pop it up there. Up here at the top, I can change view, and then camera. I can go to nose or chase. So now we're looking at my airplane. Oh, let's go to the full screen. So now we're behind my airplane. I can fly. And this is something that the guys were doing. So we were flying it all together. And you can also load up games when you're hosting. You can set it up to play a game like paintball or what else we played? Streamer Cut. I don't know. I don't think the field that we played in would let us do chase for the Streamer Cut, but I think we can set it up that way. This airplane is supposed to have a pretty good sized engine. I think it's supposed to have an EA 150 in it or something, or 200. I actually prefer seeing the airplane from the fixed position. So it would, just like you would anytime else you're flying RC. I think I just missed that pylon. Oh, I was reading the chat. Sorry, guys. Let me change the airplane. I want to fly that Cap 232. Or, yeah, let's pick it out. And let's see, it's going to be a real flight plane. And it must be one of the legacy planes. So let me collapse this one and this one. Open this one. Cap 232 right there. It's a little bit smaller, so let me hit the view that zooms in just a little bit. Oh, I didn't quite hit the nose up to save it. I think that's that snap roll I was talking about right there. Oh, no. That was the problem with the snap roll. It'd roll over on you and you'd be upside down. You'd be trying to fix it for where it was just a split second before that. But I used to practice like an approach. I would bring it around. I would bringing it around like this, and then I would try to slip it in sideways. Oh. You try to do tricky stuff, it doesn't usually work out too good until you got it figured out. So I haven't been practicing that. I know that get it sideways just like this. And then drop it down just like that. Come into the flying field kind of crooked. Just like this. Trying to keep some runway going. And then turn it in just like that. That worked out pretty good. I used to do that a lot when I would fly on the 7.5. Snap roll right off of the takeoff, and you gotta, when I roll it over, I'm pushing down on the elevator, so I got too much. I held it just a little too long. Even that time I had to correct with the elevator to keep it off the ground. This airplane's not real good for trying to do hovering. See it pause there for a second. I think somebody was changing aircraft. We do have, looks like parents are on. Not sure who that is. It says parents. Oh. Let's see what they're flying. We got some type of airplane that has guns. Hawker or something like that. Just got the is flying, I think. And, or no, Dave does. What is it? Jeff has it too. Not sure what this button does. Let's see what it does for me. Oh, so I'll share this with you guys. So if you're selecting who you want to watch, I picked the parents third, right there, ticking off in the trunk. But you can hit this button and it shows their profile. It's this little button right here. So like there's Jeff. It says he's been playing 15 hours. Dave's got 12 hours, we've got 17 hours, and the parents have 2 hours, so they're kind of new at this, it looks like. You can see I got some options here. I can mute them, I can kick them, I can ban them. So I don't know if you can hear me, but if for some reason I didn't like that they were shooting things and blowing things up, I can just hit the ban button, or kick and then ban. I don't know. I can hit this mute button on Dave. Are you talking, Dave?
I'm alright.
Oh, see, now I muted them. Now we can't hear him anymore. But if I hit the unmute, we should be able to hear Dave again. And then,
Check, check, check.
if I just don't want to see him, I don't care if he's here. I think I can hit this button here. Let's go ahead and watch him. And I'll hit hide. Now he's gone. He just disappeared off the screen. He's still here. He's still flying, but I can't see him. So now I brought him back. There he is. It's almost to the top there where you guys can see. I hit the hide button and he goes away. This button. Appearance. If I hide them, I don't know if I still see explosions that they're making. I'm actually not sure if it's them doing explosions from a drone, but oh, looks like they left.
Oh, I was gonna fly a bigger target.
There we go. Hide that board. I still have it up so that I can change it. I'm pretty happy with this game so far. Game, simulator, whatever you want to call it. It does feel pretty real. Like some people have pointed out, obviously, if you select an electric airplane, the batteries last a really long time. You're flying a real RC electric plane. Usually you're lucky if you get 5 to 7 minutes out of one, and if you're flying a jet, it's usually about 3.5 to 4 minutes. And they fly for a really long time on here. It wouldn't be fun to have to reset your plane every 5 minutes, so I think that's why they went ahead and made that change to the realism of this game. Almost at Dave there. And it's a little bit, when he's flying one that's way over scale, it's kind of hard to tell exactly where he is unless you're doing a chase video. It is a little bit. It looked like I was close. I might not have been that close in the game or in the simulator. Cool. Thanks, Joe. So, if you pick another aircraft, I'm gonna pick, let's pick from here. They got all these E-flights. This Timber X, I used to have this airplane. It's a pretty cool airplane, even though, even on this game, it's kind of small. And I don't think I think I just picked it and I didn't pick the 3D version, but it's a pretty good flying little plane. Actually sold the one I had to a friend, and sold it to a friend that's a YouTuber. So I don't know if I've never seen him fly it on his channel, but I'm assuming that he's flown it. It's a pretty good airplane. I had a lot of fun while I did have it. I just barely saved that. enough authority to make it tumble inverted like that. One thing when I'm flying the nicer sports planes, like the Edge and the Extra, the Yak, and all those, I like to practice a slow. Did that knock you out of the air, Dave? Must have crashed, Dave. My little airplane crashed this big old airplane. But I will try to do a nice pass straight down the field and roll it over. Oh shoot! Oh, I could have flown that. Electrics don't stop flying if you hit the prop on the ground. Anyways, I'll get it down here to this end and try to line up a nice straight pass, then try to work the rudder to get a nice flat. You can see that on the left, when I'm doing left rudder, I don't quite get enough. And it was falling just a little bit. Maybe if I started with the left, maybe I could get it. It just seems like when I come off of my inverted, I don't ever get it quite enough rudder. Well, we're coming up on an hour, and I didn't want to go any farther than that. See Dave practicing his rolls. Put the gear out. If you guys don't know, Dasherly Dave is one of my favorite camera guys. When we went to the actual Eli field and flew there, he run camera for me, I think, every time. And we had quite a good time there, even though it was a really big, and it's kind of like going to Honolulu and Hawaii. You know, it's definitely set up about their brand, and so everything is kind of designed around that. But it's still pretty decent flying. I mean, you can still do what you want. It feels like they've taken over. It is their flying, but Horizon Hobby have all their people doing stuff all the time. So that's nice and all that, but it does kind of get intimidating. You just kind of got to do stuff if you want to do stuff. You never really get that feel that you can, but you can. It's always there for you to do. So I didn't see Whip Pilot on there a second ago. Are you on here now, Adam? It says thing about Flight Fest. I haven't heard anything about them canceling, but I can tell you this: I haven't. I don't. I have to look, but I don't even think I have a hotel room booked for it yet because I just don't know. It's weird how the chat sometimes I lose who is in the chat. It kind of like you disappear and then you come back. I do see a button that says refresh chat. It was saying something about I needed to log in. So I don't know. Or I would have typed stuff in. It won't let me type stuff in right now. It says that we got 4 people watching and we're coming up on, or we just passed an hour. So I think this is a great time to stop. Again, if you've watched it this long and you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe. Hit that notification bell. That way you know when I'm going live again. There will be some more of this Real Flight live, or talking about articles or anything else in this format. But most of the time I fly RC planes outside live almost every day. Today was not my normal, and I just like enjoying the hobby, and it's kind of an escape for me. But Again, if you like these videos, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you guys know when I'm going live. You'll never miss a video. If you don't mind, if you guys haven't done it already, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Everything you guys, every chat, every thumbs up, everything helps my channel grow. And YouTube uh, sees the support and suggests to other people to watch the videos too. And I do appreciate it. Until next time, I'm Gary, and I just got here.